Hello guys and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be talking about audiences' behaviour with video games. So the game that I have selected is Battlefield 1. So the front of the game is just a simple picture of one of the characters from the game, the title, and also some of the creators of the game. So we have EA and DICE. In the corner here, just in a red square, we have the age rating, so it's 18. And as you can see, there's a website at the bottom for PEGI. So PEGI is the Pan-European Game Information Company that give games their age ratings depending on the amount of violence and sexual content within a game. So this game would be more based on violence. So this is a World War II themed game. It's a first-person shooter game, but you can also play in multiplayer. So the multiplayer game style can go from 2 people to 64 people, and that can be played online. There's some pictures of the kind of styles you can play in and locations. So we've got the epic 64 multiplayer battles, earth-shattering destruction, war stories from around the world. So as well as it being entertaining, it's also educational. And there's also a warning at the bottom of the back of the case that says read instruction manual for information about photosensitive seizures and other important safety and health information. And there's also the age rating at the back and then what the game contains. So it contains violence and bad language. The instruction manual, which the back of the case talked about, important health warning, which is the photosensitive seizures. So it says here, a very small percentage of people may experience a seizure when exposed to a certain visual image, including flashing lights or patterns that may appear in video games. Symptoms can include lightheadedness, altered vision, eye or face twitching, jerking or shaking of arms and legs, disorientation, confusion, momentary loss of awareness and loss of consciousness, or convulsions that can lead to injury from falling down or striking nearby objects. So in bold letters, it says immediately stop playing and consult a doctor if you experience any of these symptoms. And then it also has a comment for parents. So parents watch for or ask children about these symptoms. Children and teenagers are more likely to experience these seizures. This risk may be reduced by being farther from the screen, using smaller screens, playing it in a well-lit room, not playing when drowsy or fatigued. If you or any relative have a history of seizures or epilepsy, consult a doctor before playing. So the game is set in a period of World War I and is inspired by historical events. So the players can make use of the World War weapons, including mustard gas, automatic rifles, etc. And they can also control the vehicles, so they can control armoured vehicles, including tanks, trucks, boats and biplane aircrafts. So it kind of correlates into the theme of World War I because they're using the same vehicles, the same kind of weapons, which gives it a bit more of an authentic look. The audience theory for this is that the audience for the game are a passive audience because they can collect the information that is given to them through the game and they do not question the authenticity of it. An example would be the weapons that are used in the game. Many gamers will hear these names and will learn about each of them from having used them in the game. The hypodermic needle theory does have an effect on its gamers from the message it is sending to them about the use of violence and the historical content of the game, which gamers will pick up on while playing and kind of understanding the game a lot more as time goes by. The multiplayer feature engages audiences more because they are able to play with friends and other people across the country due to the wide span of how many people you can play with. Uses and gratification theory is used to find the specific media to satisfy its audience. It is aimed at gamers who like World War themed games, weapons, violence, and it has a wide range audience because it's something that many people enjoy. So my brother actually plays this game a lot. He's 15 years old. He's been playing games since God knows when. But these are some of his thoughts on the game. So can you tell us a little bit about the game?
First things first, I could have done my hair. But secondly...
Such a woman.
Actor. The game is called Battlefield 1. Xbox One. For the players. I'm ripping off PS4. I don't care. Rated 18. I'm not 18, as you can clearly tell. But I still play it because I'm a boss. Made by DICE and EA. Scammers. So, it's a game based in World War One. Very good game.
Well, how about you tell us about the content? So,
content of the game, right? Well,
like, when you play it, do you play by yourself? Do you play with other people?
I play with my mates. I'm not a loner.
So, when you go, like, on a mission...
There's no missions. It's multiplayer. You play online against other people from all around the world.
So, when you typically play the game, who do you play with? Like, who's on your team?
My mates, they're in my squad. And random people.
Okay. So, can you tell us a little bit about the game? So, do you think the game's violent?
Oh, extremely.
Okay.
But no gore though. They're just like spazzed out on the floor with blood around them. But yeah, very graphic.
Can you go into a bit more depth about it? So what's very graphic about it?
For instance, my best game, Sinai Desert, 60-0, true fact. Was in a tank. Was like, you know what? Let's try it. Let's try go no deaths in a tank. Previous to that, I'd done 45-8 in a tank.
What's
and
that
infantry. Mean? Oh, 45 kills to 8 deaths. But this time I've done 60-0, so 60 to no deaths. Jumped in the tank with Freddy, you know. Friends. But Battlefield friends. But yeah, we've done that. We was just going around ripping everything apart, blowing everything up. Killed about 6 tanks with their whole crew. Run over horses, killed people on horses. Run over people, shot people, blew up a train, took down about 6 bombers, 2 fighters. And it's nice just watching them get torn apart in the sky and then hitting the floor. It's very graphic. It's good though. It's good to watch. It's very heartwarming to see people fall to their death and to see people get blown up. Yeah, I love seeing that. Especially when the train's exploded and everyone inside's burning to death. It's fun.
Audience's response, they participate extremely because they have an active role in the game. So as well as watching other squadrons or even watching the historical content in the clips, they also have an active role themselves as a player and one of the characters in the game. So in recent years, video games have surpassed music and video industries in sales. Currently, violent games have been one of the most popular genres played by consumers, specifically first-person shooter games like Battlefield, as well as the games having the ability to play online with other people has increased its popularity. Research has shown that playing violent games increase the level of aggression. So a test was conducted that had participants who were randomly assigned to 4 conditions. So that was a neutral game offline, a neutral game online, a violent game offline, and a violent game online. Following playing this game, they were given a questionnaire to answer to assess their attitude towards the game. Participated in the chili sauce paradigm.
This experiment, there are 3 hot sauce options: mild, medium, and death. Participants can put as much or as little as they want.
That's a one-way mirror, so the test subject cannot see which you choose.
Gotcha. So what would you do if you were given this choice? Well, this volunteer chooses the mild hot sauce. Seems reasonable since the default setting for most people is to show compassion. So what would you do if some guy just ran you over and didn't even apologize? So would you go with mild, medium, or death? Wow, with no hesitation, this guy is adding a lot of death sauce.
And when the test results came in, it said that the respondents took more of a liking towards the chili sauce. It also showed that those who played the violent game had an increased level of aggression in comparison to those who played the neutral game. Common Sense Media is a website that had reviews from games and other media platforms. Mainly parents write their comments on what they think of the games. So there are many comments on Battlefield 1 stating that one parent had commented that this game is incredible and should definitely not be rated M for mature. It should be rated T for teen. My son is 10 and plays it. It teaches him the history of World War I with depth to the personal stories of what happened. There are many other comments similar to this with parents who have kids the same age or slightly younger, slightly older. Personal view, after watching a few game plays and watching my brother play it, there are a few pros and cons to this game. So like I said, I have a 15-year-old brother that has been playing violent games since he was 8. I feel like there's been a lot of effects from them. So the pros are that he's learning a lot about history of like World War and other games that he's played, and he's remembering them, and that's sort of what got him into wanting to join the army or join cadets. But the downside effect is that he plays games too much. They're too addictive, and you kind of throw your priorities out the window and you spend most of your time in your room playing games. And he takes the game way too seriously when he's playing online. The theory of having games add levels of aggression is true. The effects of advertising. Advertising is one of the ways that a product is promoted in order for it to be sold. The way that the game is promoted is that it either shows action-packed parts of the game, such as shootings that are happening in different locations, or it shows footage that has been created specifically for the trailer in order for the product to look exciting and worth buying. From the 2 trailers that I have watched for the game, I can see that they have given the audience an insight to what the game has. The trailer shows wars going on, different location changes every few seconds throughout the trailer. This shows the audience that there's more than one location that you can play the game in. On the packaging, the game has a statement saying, "Experience the dawn of an all-out war." And as an image, it has images and captions of what the game contains. This shows the audience that the game is worth playing. There is also a quotation from Eurogamer. Battlefield 1 is the very definition of a modern shooter. This line will draw the audience in more because they want to know what makes this game so good and what gives it a good reputation in comparison to the other versions. So this is my thoughts on the game itself. I feel like possibly, like I said, it does have pros and cons to the game, but at the same time, the younger you play, the more effect it's going to have on you, whether it's psychologically or even physically. Yeah, that's it.